Hey everyone. So, on my journey to revamp my roguelike bullet hell game, I decided that the next area to focus on was the UI. The fact that I have a pixel art game, and most of my UI is not pixel art, is a problem. I need UI that conveys the necessary information, but also doesn't detract from the perceived quality of the game, and that's what this new update helps with. So, I'm going to start out with a quick walkthrough of the first of these new changes, the main menu. Here's a quick look at the old placeholder menu, and now I'll walk you through the updated version. Things may look a bit familiar if you've seen my previous videos. We're up in the sky with these clouds floating around. We've got some stars twinkling, and if we click ahead, you can see we've got some parallax on the clouds, and here we are at the main menu. The text is now pixelated, and if we go to our options menu, you can see more of this cloud action going on here. One thing that I want to point out is the feeling of depth that this parallaxing on the clouds gives. I wasn't initially going to add it in, but after testing it out, it really makes a world of difference, all with just a little bit of code. This really gives the feeling that you're amongst the clouds, instead of just watching a couple sheets of pixels moving past each other. Now, I've still got more work to do in the future, but this has all made the menus really begin to come alive. Alright, so let's go to our progress menu. And here you can check out how many bosses you've defeated, along with their variants. Then in the enemies tab you can do a similar thing. And now it's probably pretty apparent that I playtest this game a lot. Then the rune menu shows you all the runes you've equipped, as well as the tiers you've upgraded them to. And in all of these tabs, the content gets uncovered as you discover it in the game. So if I reset my data and play through just a bit, you can see exactly what's left to experience by looking for these question marks throughout. Okay, so that's that, and now we can jump into the game. And the first change you might see here is the health indicator. It's now pixelated to fit more with the rest of the game. If we take some damage, you can see that this texture is drawn dynamically based upon your health ratio. That is, your current health divided by your max health. I won't get too technical on how this was achieved, but if you're looking to replicate it, just know that there are a couple more intricacies to this than meets the eye. You can't just simply manipulate a radial filled image, so I'd be happy to explain the details to anybody interested. Anyway, if we pick up this upgrade, you can see this stat block appear in the top right corner. This helps to neatly replace the old smattering of icons across your screen. Once you've collected an upgrade, the corresponding icon tracks your current value of that stat. So here you can see we've got 20% crit chance. As you collect upgrades, this stat block fills in, so you can see how your stats have changed. So let's move on to the next area and see if we can fill up more of our stat block. Yeah, so now the stat block is full, and I've actually set up a room so I can show what each of these icons at the top corresponds to. To start, we've got our fire rate increase, which you can see we are now at 120. Then there's our crit with a 60% chance. Then our armor and block chance. And finally, we have upgrades for our frenzy. By the way, frenzy is just what fills this bar and lets you shoot fast like this. Here's frenzy fill speed and frenzy duration. Moving on from that, the minimap received a few changes as well. Probably the most notable of which is that health packs, runes, and upgrades now show up on the minimap, so you can easily come back to them. Without this, it's a massive hassle to try to track down a rune that you left somewhere, since you might have to search every single room to find it. Overall, many of these minimap changes were to improve the information the player has, so they can more effectively traverse the map. Another example of this is that certain rooms, like arenas, now have their icons changed once they're completed. So here, the arena icon will become grayed out as I finish the room. This allows these rooms to remain as important landmarks on the minimap, while also saving the player from the frustration of taking a journey across the map, only to discover that they've already completed that room. Okay, so that's pretty much it. And I think this was a good step in the direction of the higher visual appeal that I'm looking for. Of course, there are other things that I wanted to fit into this update, but as always, you've got to know when it's time to move on and fix bigger issues. Plus, this lets me begin on some of the more fun changes that I've been looking forward to, and I think you'll enjoy them as well. But for now, I'd love to hear what you think about the game in its current state. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.